Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Bytes. I'm Brian, and today we're going to be diving into all things about the Scroll ecosystem and their current airdrop season 1 campaign that's going on now, and my strategies for ranking as high as possible in the current season. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So, Scroll is an Ethereum L2. They're currently running their first airdrop season, which they're calling Scroll Sessions. Their point system is called marks, so that's what you're earning by interacting with their platform, their chain. This campaign has been running for most of 2024, I believe, so far, so quite a while. It's rumored that it'll probably end at least the season 1 by the end of 2024. So currently it's late September 2024. So if you haven't gotten involved yet, there's not a lot of time remaining. I'll be sure in this video to tell you kind of my suggestions on the best way to attack this if you haven't really been participating thus far. But yeah, basically the main way that you're able to earn scroll marks is in this session 1 is 1, depositing funds into different DEXes on the chain, and then 2 is lending and borrowing in different protocols on the chain as well. So yeah, with that said, let's jump into each of those and I'll give you some background. So the first one, which is by far the DEX that I'm focused on the most, is Ambient Finance. And Ambient Finance, they are running their own airdrop campaign as well, in addition to Scroll. So the nice thing about this one is you can get a good 2-in-1 airdrop. They've been running their airdrop for quite a while too, so I would assume that whenever Scroll announces their airdrop, perhaps Ambient's going to be, right close to it. Basically, with Ambient, you get to choose between a number of different pairs that are already like preset. These are the main ones here. And what I've been mostly focused on is the ETH USDC pair, because what I've been doing is setting, so you choose the pair that you want, and then you set a range. And what I've been choosing is to set the range at plus or minus 2%, basically. So pretty tight range. So right now the price of ETH is 24.50. So that, in my case, if I set a 2% range now, it'd be between 2400 and 2500. Typically, I'll need to check this once or twice a day just to make sure that I'm still in range. If I go out of range, I rebalance. But the reason why I keep that tight range is because you earn more scroll marks by having a tighter range and obviously more TVL that you've deposited. But that's one way that you're able to, earn more points with less capital. If you don't have, or if you have a lot of capital, you can earn more points this way too. You just need to be actively checking it to make sure that you're, always in the active range. So if you have not been farming scroll for very long, I would probably recommend focusing on almost entirely on Ambient, because that's where I've been getting the most points from. Also, you get the 2-in-1, and then with my tight range, I'm averaging several 100% APY with that range too. So it's been nice payoff as well, especially given how volatile ETH has been over the last 6 months or so. So that's pretty much Ambient Finance. The next DEX that I've also been working with a little bit is Nuri Exchange. So with them, they have a lot more pairs that you can deposit liquidity into, and overall, they have pretty nice APYs, like 1300% on USDC Stone. Obviously, there's not a lot of TVL there, but these ones, the ETH USDT, ETH USDC, they're almost 300%, and probably for months now, as I've been using Nuri here and there, these APYs have been around here. So it's been pretty nice having such good APYs here. Nuri's already released their own tokens, so you're not getting a 2-in-1 airdrop by farming here, but you are getting the nicer APY, and then you're also earning the scroll marks as well. So it's another option if you're looking to spread things around instead of, and not just focusing on Ambient. Next one that I've played around a little bit with is called Zebra. So Zebra has a number of pools as well. You can see their APYs are not anywhere close to Nuri or Ambient, except for this one, this USDC ETH pool, over 100%. So that's pretty nice. Zebra, I don't believe they have their own token, and I don't know if they ever will. So this one's really just if you want to diversify your funds, it's another good option. I've used it a little bit, but it's been a while since I've used them, just because I'm looking for the higher APYs and the multiple airdrop opportunities that Ambient and or Nuri offer. The next DEX that just launched not too long ago is called Vessel. With them, they have a number of pools as well, more or less. They're kind of, like an ambient clone. They're a little bit different, but they're very similar in that they have these pools, and then the APYs are decent. Almost all of them are above 100%, so that's quite nice. They are running their own airdrop campaign, and since they haven't been around that long, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of them yet, with just maybe a couple $100, you can be in the top 100 on the leaderboard relatively quickly here, I think. I have noticed that Vessel isn't listed on the official Scroll Marks like point page, but I think that's just because they're so new that they just haven't been listed there yet. But just wanted to point that out in case in case that matters. I do think that they ultimately any liquidity that you're depositing here will get counted on the Scroll Marks campaign. Obviously, you're getting the 2-in-1 airdrop by farming here too, so that's why I think it. I've been I put like 100, $200 in here just to start earning some points and see how it works. Those are the 4 DEXs on Scroll that I've been focused on. And the next 2 platforms are basically staking platforms. So the first one is Mitosis. So Mitosis allows you to basically stake wheat ETH. So this is EtherFi ETH onto the platform. If you can deposit using multiple chains, but if you use Scroll, you're getting 1.3x Mito points. So Mitosis is doing their own airdrop as well. In fact, with this one, you can get both small staking APR for staking the wheat ETH. You're getting eigenlayer points from the wheat ETH. You're getting EtherFi points, and you're getting Mitosis points. Plus, you're getting marks for Scroll. So you're getting a 4-in-1 airdrop basically by depositing here. They also aren't listed on the Scroll Sessions main page, but I suspect they will be by the time the Scroll campaign comes to an end. So even though you're not getting quite a high APR, you're getting like 3 or 4%, I believe. On here, you are getting 4-in-1 airdrop potential. So if each of those, is 10 to 20% return, you're looking at 50 to 100% potentially for your deposits here. Mitosis has been doing an airdrop for quite a while too. They've said that they're only going up to Epoch 5, so they're in Epoch 4 now. So there's not a lot of time, I would say, if you haven't been farming Mitosis yet. I'm not sure if they're going to do a season 2. That said, one thing that you definitely should do, even if you don't deposit any funds on Mitosis, is take advantage of kind of their test net that they are about to launch, and that they're calling it the Game of Mito. And so basically, all you need to do is come here. I'll put the links to this in the description below. But come to this page. You're going to need a super pass. So I'll give you ones if you don't have them. I'll put them in the bottom here. And basically, it checks your wallet, and then it ranks your wallet based off of the different activity that you've done on Mito and just across different chains as well. You'll link your Twitter, Discord. It'll kind of give you some points based off of how much you've deposited in Mitosis, things like that. So ultimately, there's going to be more to this, but for now, if you just sign up, at least you're taking action on this new testnet that Mitosis is running, and we'll get more details probably sometime in October on what's next. So that's the first kind of staking platform. The other staking platform is Pencil's protocol. So with them, they have a number of vaults that you can deposit USDC, ETH, Stone, even some BTC in here as well. And Pencils, they just announced they're running an airdrop. They just announced the snapshot for season 1. I believe that they're gonna have a season 2. I don't feel like it's going to be, it's not going to pay off much, so I really haven't deposited much on Pencils at all. The nice thing about it though is if you're looking to deposit, one of these Ethereum LRTs or even this Solve BTC, you're able to get, extra pencil points. You're getting multiple airdrops. You're getting scroll marks. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you were already looking to deposit with one of these LRTs or with Solve, rather than doing it on ETH mainnet, you can do it here on Pencil's protocol on Scroll, and you're farming all of those different airdrops at the same time. You're not getting an APR on your deposit here, so you're purely just depositing and getting points for airdrops. For that reason, I haven't really used it that much because I can get the better APYs on Ambient, but it is an option if that is something that's interesting to you. Next, let's get into the different lending and borrowing protocols that Scroll offers. So the first one is by far the biggest, so Aave. So Aave has a Scroll market, and currently, they just offer ETH, wrapped ETH, or EtherFi ETH, and then USDC. So if you're looking to borrow and lend and get some leverage on, let's say you want to loop your wrapped ETH or ETH, then you can do that here on Aave. So that's the main reason why I would recommend the lending and borrowing market, is if you're bullish on ETH and you want to get leverage on it, then you can deposit one of these Ethereum derivatives and then borrow USDC, swap USDC for ETH again, and then just loop it like that. So obviously Aave is super safe at this point, since they've been around the longest and have such massive TVL. But their APYs are not that great. Their borrow APYs aren't bad either though. So if you're looking to loop and gain some leverage on Ethereum, then this is definitely an option. The next lending and borrowing platform on Scroll is Row Markets. So they also have more or less all the same, options to deposit into, including Solve BTC, which is nice. The only bad thing about that one is you're only getting 40% LTV. The other ones you're getting about 70%. So APYs are about the same as Aave, borrow about the same too. So it's really just comes down to which platform you want to use the most. Row is running their own airdrop campaign, so you can earn points by depositing with them, which you don't get on Aave. So maybe that would be a reason why you'd want to try them instead of Aave. But yeah, that's another option. The next one is Layer Bank. So Layer Bank has already had their airdrop. I believe they're in a season 2. Their first one, I was pretty highly ranked on it, and it didn't pay well at all. So I've kind of just faded Layer Bank ever since then. That said, they do have a good number of different assets that you can deposit into, and they also have the ability for you to just do an easy looping strategy, instead of having to manually do it like I just described on Aave and Row. And their APYs are more or less the same. So yeah, it's just another option. But yeah, so far out of the ones that I've used, I've chosen to use Row just because you get extra, that get to a 2-on-1 airdrop with them as well. The last one is Synonym Finance. So I haven't really heard too many people talk about Synonym Finance. I use them a little bit. Their platform is a little confusing, so I think that's probably why you don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but uh, it's another lending and borrowing market. Their APYs are much worse than the other ones, but the nice thing is they give you the option to stake SUSD if you want to, which qualifies for the Athena airdrop, which they're about to start a season 3 on that. So you can get a 2-in-1 here. Also, Synonym has their own token, but they're incentivizing pools. The way that you get these higher APYs is by staking some of their tokens, which is called Sino. You're taking a risk by buying their token and then hoping that the price doesn't go down as much as the extra APY that you're getting, because you do need to lock it in order to achieve these higher APYs. But if you're bullish on Synonym and you want to get these higher APYs, by far the boosted ones are much better than any of the other lending and borrowing markets on Scroll. So this is another option I would say to look a little bit deeper into it, just because with that locking functionality, it's a little bit more complicated. But yeah, it's another option if you're looking to lend and borrow to earn points on Scroll. So to summarize out of everything that we just went through, again, I do think, especially if you haven't been farming Scroll up until now, that ambient finance is probably going to be the best bang for your buck. One thing I did forget to mention is that ambient is rumored to have some upcoming partnerships with Barachain, which is going to be another L2 coming out by the end of 2024, most likely. And so there is a possibility that any activity that you're doing on ambient will get you some kind of allocation with Barachain too, or something. Totally a rumor, but I just heard about that in the past week and thought it was interesting. So sharing it with you guys in case that helps inform your decision better. Last but not least, in addition to the scroll marks that you're earning for lending and borrowing and providing liquidity, they do have what they're calling scroll canvas. And so it's a way for you to basically interact with a bunch of different protocols on scroll. And, in addition to the ones that we all just went through, there's a bunch more platforms and apps on scroll. And so you basically can earn different badges for doing different things. So, a lot of them are, if you're already using Ambient as an example and you've swapped over $500 on there, you can earn this badge. So a lot of the things that you can do to earn these badges are things that you probably already are doing just by interacting with the different protocols that we talked about. I don't know how much the badges are going to factor into the airdrop. I think probably there'll be a multiplier. I've earned about 30 badges, but I'm not really interested in doing more. They have probably 70, 80 plus at this point. So if there's ones that you've already basically taken the actions by just doing what you wanted to do by providing liquidity or lending and borrowing, then I don't see the reason why not to spend 5 seconds to just get the badge, just because I do think it will be some kind of multiplier on the airdrop. But I wouldn't go out of your way to do too many of these if you're not actually earning scroll marks, because if you're not earning a lot of marks, I don't think you're gonna, I think there's gonna be a multiplier, so it's not gonna be a separate allocation. So if you're not earning a lot of marks, there's no point in getting a larger multiplier, because 3 times 0 is 0. So yeah, that's pretty much the scroll ecosystem and how I've been farming their airdrop. A lot of information, so I'll summarize it in the description below and also in my post on X. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me at any time. I'd be happy to help. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. And until next time, happy farming.